Welcome to the best podcast in the land with G, the #1 Cowboys fan, Hampton. Are you ready?
What up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's team? It's your guy, G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton, coming at you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's what I said, Mo news, M-O news that you can use. And welcome to Saturday Sit Down with your guy, G, #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton. Give it up. Put that echo in there. Saturday Sit Down, straight barbershop talk. That's what we're talking about. Straight barbershop talk. You guys know what it's like, man. Again, this is not a political correct podcast. This is when I say straight barbershop talk, it's just like when you go to the barbershop or the beauty salon and you talk about your favorite team, which is the Cowboys. Come on, give it up. And so we're not about, being politically correct and things like that. But the thing about the Cowboy Huddle podcast is that we're fans first, and then we report the news. Give it up. I need to put this up here. Hold on, guys. I did not put this up here. I need to. Where is it at? I cannot go on without putting my logo. Bam! There it is. All right, now we're ready. Anyway, so again, welcome to Saturday Sit Down, straight barbershop talk with your guy, G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton. Again, look, as you can look at the ticker below. There's some other social medias where you can find us at. I strongly suggest you go to these two social media platforms to see more content about our Dallas Cowboys, where yours truly will always give you some information or videos or something about our Dallas Cowboys. So here we are, Saturday morning. What is this? April 4th. Yeah, April 4th. We are in April showers. April showers that brings May flowers. That's what I said. And right now we're getting a fair share of rain, which it does my yard a lot of good. Yeah, I'm trying to get my front yard back together. Yeah, man, I had some branches that was just so low. Just my front yard just wasn't getting enough light. So guess what I did? I had them suckers cut all the way back. You would think it was a bit afro at the top of my tree because I don't have no branches down below. So let's see how that works. I've been doing some work out there. We're going to see how that works. So anyway, guys, thank y'all again. Do me a favor before we get started, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. Also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video is posted. Again, we don't do anything for clickbait. We try to report the news, and we do our research and bring it to the Cowboy Nation fan base. So today we're going to get into some things, man, and I'm gonna just let you know what we're going to get into. The title basically is 9th Hour Negotiation. Is a thing for the Cowboys. And you probably heard the talk or the topics in the past about George Pickens and Jerry Jones and David Mulugeta and the situation where we are with that. And I know people say, well, let's just move on. Let's talk about the draft. But it's hard to talk about the draft knowing that we have key pieces that's probably on a bubble or possibly could create a situation in the long run. But again, it's just another topic that needs to be told that has been created by our owner, Jerry Jones. It is, man. It is. And we're going to talk about that. So today we're going to get into the Jerry Jones comments about George Pickens. Well, so we're going to then talk about what his comments, what was said. Then we'll get into the agent, which is David Mulugeta. Then we'll talk about the situation. Then we'll talk about Pickens' contract. Then we'll talk about the issue. And then we'll talk about the history of the wait and see. Come on, so stick around, man. Let's get into this thing. So, you see the title because it has happened so often, man, that we're wait and see type of negotiation organizations with some of our top players. And here we are again. So I have noted right here, it says Jerry Jones comments. So Jerry Jones said that he has plans, long-term plans for GP. Yeah, he said he has long-term plans for GP, George Pickens. But then also Coach Shoddy comes in, he said, I'd rather for GP, George Pickens, just to be who he is. That's how you get the best out of a player, allowing him to be who he is. Right now it seems that we're looking for moral character. We're looking for how you present yourself. And I need you to speak proper. I need you to carry yourself proper. And which, to a certain extent, that does make sense, but a certain extent, that does make sense. Give it up. Come on now. Auto correction right here on the recording of the show. But yeah, it makes sense to a certain extent. But at the same time, what are we looking for? We're looking for etiquette, or we're doing the what do you call it? The ball, what we're doing, ballroom dance, or what are we doing here? Again, so we're talking about a guy that had 93 passes, over 1,400 yards, receptions, and 9 TDs, and made the All Pro. And what we're saying is we want him to prove himself again. Yeah. And with that comes everything underneath what we're going to talk about today. So again, this is what Shoddy said. Shoddy said, I'd rather for GP just to be himself. That's how we got the production out of him. But then there's this comment by our guy, the owner, Jerry Jones. I could be paraphrasing this, but y'all all heard it. But he says Pickens could save a lot of money if he deals with me directly. George could save much more money if he deals with me directly. Now, haven't we heard this before? Similar situations, but a little different at the same time, because we know Micah was at the end of his contract, but at the same time, we talk about Micah, we say, well, Micah had a personal conversation with Jerry about the contract. Okay, we made a deal. And we know that Micah did say, hey, man, I don't need all the money. Just go ahead and, sign me up so I can get up back on this field. This was before Myles Garrett, J.J. Watts, and Max Crosby got signed. This was before. And the things was looking good, but at the same time, we were still at the 9th hour to negotiate. And by us being at the 9th hour, what happened? Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and J.J. Watt got paid. But Jerry says that we had something in place. Jerry, I guarantee you, every oil rig that you go and buy, or you go and purchase, or do business with some type of other company or owner or something like that, you don't go in there and do negotiations by yourself. I'm sure you have a team of lawyers that look. I know you do not take time to look over all the paperwork before you purchase or you lease a property, as far as making a deal with the owner of someone's land, or buying somebody's land, or with the city of Arlington putting up that stadium. You didn't sit down there and negotiate yourself. I promise you, you did not sit down there with the city of Arlington by yourself, and you took on the city of Arlington by yourself. No way. Give it up. Why not, Jerry? Why didn't you just take the time yourself and deal with the city of Arlington? Because you knew you need protection. You need to invest in something or somebody that knew the loopholes and knew the protocol of getting a deal done. Okay? So come on, man. Let's be real about where we at right now. But you're saying, oh yeah, Michael, we had a deal, and man, he's gonna take the deal. But again, when we talk about Micah, Michael said, whoa, hold your horses, pump your brakes. Now, I said that before these guys got paid. But now these guys got paid, but now you want me to take the crumbs? Come on, Jerry. But again, this is what the ninth hour of negotiation looks like with our organization. Now, whatever reason Jerry took out the time to say the same thing to George Pickens is mind-boggling, knowing that because of what happened in the past with Micah, and we lost Micah, and here we were. After we lost Micah, we're looking for pass rushers. We say we didn't need them, but at the same time, we're still looking for pass rushers. And I don't care. And I know a lot of people say, there's several people out there, several players out there that do their own negotiation. And that's true. There are some. I remember Roy Williams when he played with the Cowboys. His mother did was his agent. But we're talking about Lamar Jackson. But let's look at the percentage of how many players actually represent themselves. Now, it's one thing if you're a family member or a friend has a degree or has knowledge of how to negotiate and negotiation and representation and things like that. That's great. But let's look at the percentage. I'm sure there's a small, minute percentage of players that have a family member representing him. Okay. So, yeah, people can say, yeah, well, why can't it? You're like, well, that's the reason you hire your lawyer, your agent, because there's a team. Now, personally, I know this. My son had an agent, but the agent had a team. A team where when it came to contract, they broke those contracts down. They read through them. They highlighted some issues. They highlighted the things that need to be taken out, or highlight some things that need to be put in. So a player doesn't have to go through that and sit down and thumb through each page. I know this personally. Now, if I'm not mistaken, as far as when we talk about an agent, it's something about David Mulugeta that Jerry has a problem with. Now, David Mulugeta is the guy that represented Michael Parsons. He also represents George Pickens. And personally, I knew, am I centered? Let me see if I'm centered. I think I'm centered in front of the camera. I got my paperwork in the way. But now I knew that this was going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be a problem. So here we are. But now I want to get into who is David Mulugeta. So let me see. I got this. Let me see if I got this. I want you to see something real quick. Let me pull this up. I think I got this here. Oh, I didn't put it up here. But David Mulugeta is an American football agent at Athletes First in Laguna Hills, California. He currently represents 42 NFL players, including, now let's listen to these names: Jalen Ramsey, Deshaun Watson, Buda Baker, Michael Thomas, Jordan Love, AJ Terrell, Michael Parsons, and Kyle Pitt. And I think CJ Stroud is on here. He's supposed to be on here as well. I think he's on here. But now Mulugeta is from Dallas, Texas. And Mulugeta began his career as an intern at Athletes First in 2010 after meeting agent Andrew Kessler. Mulugeta became a certified contract advisor in 2012 and became an agent at Athletes First. Since then, Mulugeta has gone on to represent many Pro Bowl and All-Pro players. Okay. Accolades. Mulugeta was recognized in 2020 by Forbes as the top NFL agent in terms of negotiated deals and commissions in the world, holding a rank of 8th across agent of any sport. He is also Forbes' highest ranked black sports agent. I'm just saying. And so here we are. Now we kind of got an idea why Jerry wants to deal with George Pickens and he wanted to deal with Micah by himself. Because basically, David has taken down several Goliaths. Ooh, wait, did y'all just hear what I just said? David has taken down. I mean, what we know about David now, David can care less about what team his clients play for. He can care less if it's the star on the side of your helmet or if it's a raven on the side of your helmet. His main job to do is make sure his clients are paid. I'm just saying, this man is ranked 8th in the country. Because see, we already know about Todd France. Todd France finessed the hell out of Jerry with Dak. Finessed the hell. No trade options. I mean, he got spread like mayonnaise. So maybe this is the problem. But yeah, this guy's ranked 8th in the country. So let's talk about the situation and why Jerry wants to only deal with GP. Now, there's a nuance out there. This was reported. Which is that the highest paid receiver now is Jackson Smith-Njigba. At $42 million a year. Give it up. $42 million a year. Y'all know what that means? Now we're going back to the ninth hour negotiation. Is way too often with the Cowboys because you know why? We decided to put a non-exclusive tag on George Pickens instead of going on and signing him to a contract before this happens. But because you wait till the 9th hour, look what happened. $42 million a year. Now, let's go and look at Pickens' contract. First of all, I want to tell y'all this here. Let me see where I got this. Oh, what is this here? Yeah. So it's under 1 year. So George Pickens is currently on a 1-year franchise for the 2026 season. Valued at $27,298. It's 27,000. This tag ensures he remains with Dallas while giving both sides until July 15, 2026 to negotiate a long-term extension. If no deal is reached, Pickens will play the season on the tag. The franchise tag is a non-exclusive, meaning Pickens could negotiate with other teams, but Dallas has the right to match any offer or receive draft pick compensation. So, his market value has risen sharply due to the recent free agency moves. The Indiana coach extension of wide receiver Alec Pierce to $29 million a year has set a new benchmark for elite receiver. That's where it is. It's all about the benchmark. So David is going to try whatever may happen. He's going to try to get GP as close as he can to Jackson. Now, I know what you're probably saying. Oh, ain't no receiver worth there. You can't have two receivers at, well, you wouldn't have if Jerry would have done what he's supposed to have done in the beginning instead of looking for moral actions or moral characteristics and things like that. If he would have just went on and sat down and signed him, we wouldn't even be thinking about this right now. So this is the situation. And come to find out, guys, George hasn't even signed his contract yet. I mean, he hasn't. Let me see. Where is it at? So it says, as of April 3rd, 2026, George Pickens has reportedly not signed his franchise tender with the Dallas Cowboys. While the Cowboys officially placed the non-exclusive franchise on him in late February to secure his right for 2026 season, Pickens has not yet finalized the one-year deal. Y'all don't believe me? Let me show it to you. No. Let's see if I can show it to you. This one here. Yeah, let's go to this one here. Ooh. Show it to you. There it is. Yeah. So here's the negotiation deadline. Participates because he has not signed the tender. Pickens is not required to participate in voluntary offseason programs or team activity. Reports indicate that he is unlikely to report to the team facility until his contract is resolved. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to say, oh, let me see. No, he has every right. He has every right to do what CeeDee Lamb done and several other players that has done. Now, listen, there is a non-exclusive designation. This allows Pickens to negotiate with other teams. However, the Cowboys maintain the right to match any offer or receive 2 first-round draft picks as compensation. I don't know if anybody's going to do that. So, yeah, this is where we are, guys. And, yeah, let me see. I want to pull something else up here for you guys because, and when we talk about this, let me go back to that. I want to go back to that because I want to show y'all something. And why we do the 9th hour? Why do we do the ninth hour situation? I don't want that. Let's go here. And so I asked the question. Jerry Jones typically waits until the 11th hour. I said the 9th hour. Damn, we talking about the 11th hour to finalize contract for top players because he adheres to a core negotiation philosophy that deadlines make deals. He believes that true leverage and the best terms are only reached when a firm cutoff, such as the start of regular season or a franchise tag deadline, forces both sides to compromise. Now, here's his strategies down here. His strategies built off several key motivation. We talk first of all, we're talking about the risk mitigation. Unbelievable. Jones has stated that he would rather pay more and get it right than pay less early and risk a massive guarantee contract on a player who might underperform or get injured shortly after signing. Market observation. He often waits to see how other cards are played across the league by waiting for other stars at the same position to sign. What you saying? That's why where we are right now. He feels he has a clear picture of what true market value, even if it ends up costing him more. Wait a minute. This philosophy needs to be thrown in the trash, y'all. And maybe some of y'all agree with it. Psychological leverage, the Jones often use the cachet of playing for the Cowboys as a bargaining chip, believing players will eventually prioritize the glory and the off-field. Unbelievable, but this is it. Direct negotiation. Jerry Franklin attempts to bypass agents to speak with players one-on-one. I just said this. As seen with Michael Parsons and George Pickens to build a personal commitment before finalizing the technical details with representation. Anyway, I don't want to get out. So, yeah, it's not George. George is looking out for himself, and his agent is looking out for him as well. So now when we get to here's the issue. I'm going to pull up the list. Let me see if I can find this. And this is something that needs to be talked about as well. Let me see if I can find this because now here's the issue. Here's the issue. See if I can find the issue. Well, let's get into this one here. Let's go back to this. And when we're talking about the 9th hour, which they said the 11th hour, negotiation is a thing for the Cowboys. But let's get back into this here. Let me show you how it is. So some of the most high-profile players who have been a part of these last-minute deals include Dak Prescott, 2024, and one of the most dramatic examples. We know that he signed a record-breaking 4-year, $240 million extension on September 20. Okay, just hours before the Cowboys season opener against the Cleveland Browns. Now, I'm going to say Jerry lost this deal. He lost. But it's all because the 9th hour negotiation, which we should have paid Dak a few years ago, which we got him on a bargain for $555,000 as a 4th-round draft pick. And this guy come from a 4th-round draft pick to one of the top players, one of the top paid players. But then we act like we got a problem with David Mulligata for trying to do the same thing for George Pickens when Todd France did this for Dak Prescott. See, it's not a problem with quarterbacks do it, but, I guess has two time for that said. But it's a problem when GP do it. So he's one. Then we go to CeeDee Lamb. After holding out through the entire 2024 training camp, Lamb finally signed a 4-year, $136 million deal on August 26, 2024, roughly 2 weeks before the start of regular season. It's not CeeDee's fault. It's Jerry's fault. 2 weeks before the season. And then my guy, Ezekiel Elliott, which everybody said, oh, man, he got that money. He went downhill. Well, shit. It's not Zeke's fault. It's Jerry's fault. He waited too late. So Elliott famously held down in Cabo San Lucas for the entire 2019 preseason. He finally agreed to a 6-year, $90 million. I think everybody see dollar signs when they come play for the Cowboys. Then we go to Dez Bryant. Look at Dez Bryant. Bryant negotiation went down to the final minutes of the NFL franchise tag deadline in July 2015. He signed a 5-year, $70 million contract just before the 4 o'clock. I know I'm all right, Elmo. I'm okay. Before the 4 o'clock p.m. I know this is a long video, but man, we got to get into it. 4 o'clock, just before 4 o'clock, the p.m. cutoff that would have prevented a long-term deal that year. And we go to DeMarcus Lawrence. I think one of the smartest dudes out there. He said, shit, I ain't playing. You going to pay me. After playing on the franchise tag in 2018, You see that? You could have signed DeMarcus Lawrence when he was on that franchise tag. You wouldn't be looking at this 5-year, $105 million. So that's exactly what's going to happen to GP. He's going to be worth more next season. He's going to be worth more. He's going to be worth more because that's 2 seasons that he have put up numbers, and now you double those. Now you got a double meat hamburger, double meat Whataburger with cheese and extra sauce with extra pickles that you're going to have to pay for. For a burger that probably costs $12, that just going to cost $24. Oh, listen here. So in the contrast, this wait and see. See what I'm talking about? Approach recently led the trade of Michael Parsons to the Green Bay Packers in 2025 after negotiations stalled. And the market for pass rush reset beyond what Jones was initially willing to pay. So now that GP is in the situation he is, I'm trying to find this one. I got to find this because here's the problem. Now, knowing that, get that off of there. Knowing that GP is going to be doing a lot of money, where does that leave CD? Jerry Jones, grab that little coin purse you got because you're going to be pet feeding all your grandbabies. Here's $1. You know, you can give them a quarter when they kids. Here's a quarter. But when they get older, Paw, a quarter. Okay, here's $1. And the older they get, the more you have to give them. These kids standing around Jerry Jones right now with their hands out like, Paw. Do you expect CeeDee Lamb to stay where he is when it's his turn? This is where we are, people, Cowboy fans. This is where we are. So, Paw JJ, that's his name now. Paw JJ is going to have to pay the grandbabies. The grandbabies are older now. They ain't falling for the 50 cents. So put up the coin purse and quit. You know, I'm old man had them coin purse. Here, baby, here's a quarter for you, a quarter for you. That's what I do my grandbaby when they were little. They washed my car, I give them a quarter. Now, they look at my oldest gonna look at me like, Papa, don't you got money to go get your car washed or your truck washed? And if I wash it, Papa, guess what? $25. So regardless of what you do with GP now, and if he does show up, and he's going to show up, he's going to sit out. He's going to sit out the training camps and things like that. He's going to put those numbers up this season. If he stays healthy, God forbid he gets injured. But now, instead of paying for a regular Whataburger, you got to pay for a double meat with cheese. Oh, man. This is where we are, y'all. This is where we are, and I can't make it up. So what that being said, what that means is CD is next. And CD is all behind him. Well, CD said, yeah, man, he need to get his money. Let him get his money, man. Yeah, because he knows when his time comes, pop out. You gave George. I need more, man. I'm older. I've been on this team right long. What happened? And guess what Papa going to do? He's going to pay him. So I understand why he does not want to deal with David Mulligata. But David Mulugeta can give a fat rat of the loyalty because it's every agent's job to make sure that his client is paid fairly to where he can take care of himself and his family. Well, fellas and ladies, that's all I got for today. I just wanted to share that with you. I know you probably heard this before, but I wanted to get down into the details and dive a little bit deeper to why we are this 9th hour negotiating organization. And now you know why we are where we are. It's all about the 9th hour, and where they said on the social media, they're saying they're the 11th hour negotiating organization. But anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think. What do we do with George Pickens? But you didn't have a problem when they did Dak like that. Nobody said, well, Dak, oh no, man, don't pay Dak that kind of money, man. Oh, shoot, man. We're going on 11 years with Dak. Nobody said, oh man, that's too much money. But guess what? But now when it comes to George Pickens, which basically makes this team so relevant to where you cannot run a double team, and you've got a better chance of going further this season with both of these guys on the field. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You think you're complaining about this year. What do you think about next year? And what if they make to the NFC Championship? Are you going to sit here and say in 2027, oh, don't pay him? You're going to say pay him. And I'm predicting this right now. They don't call me G, the #1 Cowboy fan, for nothing. I've been watching this for years. I've been in this for years. So you guys give me your thoughts. What you think? Guess I go put on a movie. It's raining outside. Ain't much to do outside. But anyway, man, just do me a favor, man. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you hadn't subscribed to the channel, man. Again, we do nothing but clickbait. We're fans first, and then we report the news, man. And thank you to all the content creators that come on the show, man, and be looking forward to Monday Night Mic'd Up. I have a few content creators on with me on Monday night. It's called Monday Night Mic'd Up. We'll start that at 7:00 p.m. Central Time. So set your timers, or hit your notifications so you'll be notified, because again, we're gonna have some good conversations, some good topics. So with some good creative content creators on with me. So check us out on Monday night. Okay. With that being said, like I always say, continue to be blessed, continue to stay safe. And whatever you do, continue to be kind, because we all know we need more kindness right now. That's it for your guy, G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton. And I'm out. Deuces.
Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. The Cowboys Huddle Podcast.